I feel like that dude from Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm putting in some more overtime. On the crypto tube, today we're going to be bringing real world number facts, stats on EIP 1559, its impact on Ethereum gas prices or transaction fees, or basically what you pay to actually use Ethereum, all of the dApps or applications built on top of the blockchain, and sending ERC20 or simply Ethereum tokens. But wait, Billy Mays just called. He said there's more.
But you gotta call now. Here's how to order.
We're going to be looking at Ethereum mining profitability and how it has been impacted and the subsequent drop after the Ethereum Improvement Proposal 1559, or basically a hard fork London upgrade or simply change to the Ethereum blockchain code. Let me just hit you with a quick spoiler. It's not good. And I'm not being dramatic about it. It's not good. So before I have to be the bearer of bad news, how about I bring you something sweet, like Tails, our resident Shiba Inu in VoskCoin, the most beautiful pup in the world, and the owner of the VoskCoin YouTube channel, which you are watching. And my name is Vosk. Slap the subscribe button and join us on this crazy crypto journey. If you've ever wanted to mine Bitcoin, then you should head to minewithcompass.com and learn how they're making it possible for everyone to mine Bitcoin now. They sell Bitcoin miners, they will connect you with facilities, co-location, which enables you to host your Bitcoin miners with some of the best Bitcoin mining farms in the world. Click the link below to learn how you can start mining with Compass today. I'm gonna save my feelings, personal opinions, and things like that for the end of the video, but the simple way to say this is that this upgrade was contentious. Okay, it was controversial.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not. It
Gets the people going.
And we'll leave it at that. But let's jump into it. So this is etherchain.org/burn, and it's another option to watchtheburn.com, which completely failed and let us all down at the height and climax and the most interesting part of all this. So I want to become a patron there. I'm a little disappointed, but it's good to have two sources here. Okay, so as it stands, EIP 1559 is only, okay, let's see when this video went up. It's basically a day and a half old, which, by the way, we live streamed, and I know we talked about a lot of things, but the point of this video is to have precise information and updated Ethereum mining profitability now that we can, look at that and truly see what's going on. But we'll come back to the Ethereum being burned in a second. But one of the main things, right, related to EIP 1559 is that it was supposed to make gas fees more predictable, and it was often marketed and spun. For example, here's the top result when you're like, oh, I want to figure out what's going on. EIP 1559 gas fees. The top result answer here is, even though EIP 1559 will significantly reduce the gas costs, but they won't be free. And see, a lot of people bring up that we're frustrated with the transaction fees, the gas fees, even after this is implemented, and the negative impact to Ethereum miners. And a lot of people like to snap back and be like, you're an idiot, it was never supposed to fix that. But our point and counterpoint is, to take that side and that piece, that party, is that it was marketed and spun that way. And it's very frustrating, and a lot of people do honestly think and believe that that was going to be the case. There's full articles on this. For example, significantly reducing the gas cost, where that answer is pulled from. Top results on Google. It's frustrating. It's like a propaganda machine. And so after this happened, it still was costing over $50 to complete a Uniswap swap. And really, after you prove transactions, and if you use token to token, you'll be easily out the door $100 to make a decentralized trade, which is Ethereum crumbling under its own success in that regard. At the time of recording this video, random time, not intended to be good or bad, it's about $30 to complete a Uniswap trade. Token transfer, which is moving any token built on the Ethereum blockchain, about $8, $10. Those aren't impressive fees by any mean. And currently it's showing that block utilization is 51%. And basically the more that Ethereum is used, the more expensive it becomes to transact and do anything on chain. But here's the kicker. So 7,260 Ethereum were burned. What does that translate to? So we go to good old buddy CoinGecko. 7,260. Okay, look at this. I gotta make sure I say this right. So $21 million of Ethereum have been burned already. That's $21 million that would have previously gone to Ethereum miners. And I'm not gonna get super opinionated here, but the simple fact is that Ethereum miners, right, whether you're GPU mining or Ethereum ASIC mining or whatever, feel as though that those mining profits were stolen from them. And they truly were. I'm not trying to sound dramatic or anything like that, but if this was not implemented, then that's $21 million more that would have gone to the Ethereum miners. Now it's being burned. And what does burning Ethereum do? It increases the scarcity, but just so you know, Ethereum has no supply cap for better and worse. There's some advanced tokenomics that go into that, and you can argue both sides. It's not like Bitcoin where there's 21 million, but Ethereum is absolutely awesome in comparison to Bitcoin. And above all, nothing is more suffocating than a Bitcoin maximalist that try to down talk other cryptocurrencies. You talk about crypto tribalism, it just gets old. But to stay on topic, Ethereum whales, Ethereum developers, none of them are miners. None of them. I don't know of a single one.
Did I understand correctly? Not a single miner forked?
Well, yeah. It's only one node there. So
is this the first fork that actually went perfectly smooth?
Like,
don't we usually always have some miner that stays behind?
Yeah.
Like every fork in history? So I think the moral of the story is we just need to make sure that every fork includes a highly contentious change. That way it goes smoothly.
But they're all holders. And thus, they've all become validators, or simply staking Ethereum on Ethereum 2.0, earning interest with their coins. So instead of paying out 21 million in Ethereum to miners, they burn that, they increase the scarcity, and basically they enrich their bags indirectly. I'm not hating necessarily, but that's the fact of the matter. That's what it is. That's what we're dealing with here. Let's look at this breakdown of 1559. And because this is a massive change to the fundamentals here of Ethereum and really the tokenomics of the fun cryptocurrency word to say in that regard. And then we're going to look at the Ethereum mining profitability and how it's been negatively impacted. There's a lot of projects in the space that see Ethereum and the congested network and just the absolutely abysmal fees to transact on it, to complete decentralized exchanges, to yield farm, and everything in between. And that is why Kava, today's video sponsor, even exists. So they didn't tell me to go and open that with me slamming Ethereum, but I think it's a beautiful way to start this conversation because the fact of the matter is it's incredibly cheaper to transact on the Kava blockchain, and they have been working heavily to build out protocols on top of their chain. What are the 3 protocols built on Kava, you ask? Oh, I'll gladly tell you. The Kava protocol, and that's for minting stablecoins and earning across the world's largest crypto assets. Then they had the hard protocol, a money market to lend, borrow, and earn across the world's largest crypto assets. Then you have the Kava swap protocol that's launching very soon, and AMM, that's an automated market maker, which is like their version of Uniswap, and it's bridging DeFi. And here's the key part, blockchains. Yeah, this is a multi-blockchain project. This gives your capital access to so many opportunities. Anyone who's been involved in DeFi, decentralized finance over the last year, has probably found themselves just feeling isolated on a blockchain and not being able to participate in another one because all their coins and thus potentially money are locked up on, say, the Ethereum chain, but things are popping off on the Binance Smart Chain. And then you've got to go through a huge hassle to get your coins and money over there. Things like the bridge are only recent developments. Projects like Kava, built on a proof of stake network. Not here to open that debate today, but the fact is that their transactions are fast and they claim they're going to be scalable. With their blockchain and platform, you'll be able to perform all of these basically money making actions. You can lend out your money and earn. Oh, you need some money over here. And when I say money, I mean coins, I mean tokens, I mean everything that lives in the cryptocurrency world, which is, trust me, it's better than that dirty fiat money. We've talked about Kava Swap specifically before, and they had a record-breaking swap test net, huge metrics, 36,000 participants, and they transacted over $120 million in just 7 days. And they have a little bit of a rebrand coming up, and historically rebrands have proven to move crypto prices in a positive manner. They're not changing Kava, but they are moving and changing some things around from within their ecosystem. Learn more about Kava and their ecosystem with the link in the video description below. So even though the block speed was supposed to be reportedly about 20% faster, and the block reward was reportedly supposed to be about 20% less for miners. And so if you look at this, you see base fee plus tips, and how that is supposed to still incentivize Ethereum miners to do their job and do their job well and secure their network. Because fun fact, over the last 3 months, Ethereum has provided more mining profitability than Bitcoin, even though it doesn't even maintain half of the market cap of Bitcoin. Those are pretty interesting statistics, without a doubt. But you know, what is EIP 1559? Market mechanisms to pay for transaction fees. It gets EIP 1559. We're gonna drop the EIP. I'm done saying that. Gets rid of the first priced auction and replaces it with a fixed price sale. And then there's base fee and then tips to pay the miner on top. So basically, like, you want to get in front of the line, you got the biggest tip, welcome aboard. Will 1559 make Ethereum deflationary? Will it make it a deflationary token? That has been all the rage over the last year, especially with Binance Smart Chain tokens. But it burns the ETH spent as base fee for the transaction fee. This Ethereum is removed from the supply. This makes Ethereum more scarce. However, this does not make it deflationary. Going off Justin Drake's model, and will Ethereum become deflationary? There's about 1,000 Ethereum issued per day in his model, and 6,000 Ethereum would be burned. So that would be basically reducing 1.6 million Ethereum a year, reducing the annual supply by 1.4%. This is a very bullish indicator on the Ethereum price point when you remove the big negative impact that miners have felt their feelings, because nobody cares about miners' feelings. Let me tell you, that's a true fact. There's also miner extracted value and other Ethereum improvement proposals to bring more transparency and opportunities to the Ethereum blockchain, but we're going to keep it focused and centric in this video. MetaMask has a clear definition here. Will 1559 make gas fees cheaper? No, and it's not the intention. How do you set the right gas fee? High for swaps, medium for sending assets, and low. You know, I never recommend low. You often get failed transactions on many blockchains and so forth. I'll drop the link to this article in the video description below. There is a lot of good information in here. For example, right now, Trezor and Ledger do not yet support EIP 1559. Obviously, they're going to be actively working on it, but some things to keep in mind. So let's move to the topic of Ethereum mining. And so there's a couple variables here that are negatively impacting my Ethereum mining revenue. So you can see day over day, you see the rough performance, the rough mining profitability. So off the cuff, you see about 1/6 less Ethereum mining profitability. But the chain was really congested yesterday, which led to a lot of tips and thus a boost in general Ethereum mining profitability. But you cannot rely on heavy days to power you through. My hash rate was also about 10% less. So that needs to be factored into this model as well. So I can safely say that the mining profitability was at least 6% less than it kind of usually was or was supposed to be. That's pretty alarming that on a incredibly congested day with the chain, that mining profitability was reduced about 6%. So this is a rough, just rough estimate. I think on an average day where the chain is not super congested and used, and when I say that, I mean that basically there's a lot of base fee plus tips, and the tips keep going up. The more the chain is being used, the more congested it is, and basically the more and more expensive it is to transact on the chain. Just like pre-EIP 1559, miners made more money, but they make drastically less money in this model, and simply a lot of Ethereum is burned that would have previously gone to Ethereum miners. So If I were to pick a number, I think we're going to be looking at about 20% less Ethereum mining profitability on average in the long term. I'm going to keep looking at the mining profitability and update. Reviewing the next 2 days of mining profitability, it only gets worse. You can see on 8.6, my average hash rate per day increased, and yet the amount of Ethereum I mined decreased. And Ethereum has been super hot the last couple of days, which means that a lot, and I mean like a massive amount of tips, or the extra ETH getting paid out to the miners in this new setup, is being tipped. As it stands, we're trending down to lose about 30% mining profitability with this new change to Ethereum. And there's a ton of factors that go into this. This isn't FUD. And the fact of the matter is, I'm really tired of arguing and talking about this stuff. It's no surprise, and we've said it 100 times, Ethereum community, the Ethereum developers, they don't care about miners. They think they're overpaid. They don't value them as community members or service providers or anything else. It's not news. I don't even care anymore. When I use Ethereum, I use it for DeFi and a bunch of the incredible decentralized applications that are built on top of it. And when I mine, I mine for a profit, and I dump the hell out of the coin whenever I feel like it. I have no allegiance to Ethereum, but I think it's absolutely incredible technology that seems to have unfortunately forgotten some of its roots. And I find that sad and disrespectful, and unfortunately not all that uncommon in cryptocurrencies and even just simply the world. So to answer the question that never goes away is, when will Ethereum mining end? Well, they have clearly projected that Ethereum will be mineable through the rest of the year. And about half a year ago, I predicted when it would end. I'm still thinking 2023 is their hopeful estimate, because Ethereum, as I've said again previously, is a behemoth. They take forever to move and get along and get where they want to go. They're an absolute slug, okay? And this is one of the things that they've actually moved the fastest on, and this is years in development as well, between conception, coding, testing, and then finally pushing it through, and a ton of back and forth from different sides of the Ethereum community, and really most Ethereum miners crying out. So if you want to join me on this crazy crypto journey and you enjoyed this video to any degree, I'd love for you to slap the subscribe button and join the VoskCoin community. I think we have the coolest, best community out there in cryptocurrency, but I'm also biased. We're chasing 1 million subscribers. I'd love to have you be a part of that journey. Please leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. I don't care if you disagree with me. I'd still love to hear your thoughts. I'm not so simple-minded that I think that everything is my way or no way and whatever else. There's interesting cases to make from both sides. I get that, and I can respect that. But when people just personally attack me and troll me and FUD me, whatever, that's boring and exhausting, and there's really no intellect behind that. So if you have that, you can go ahead and save that one. Keep that one to yourself. So smash the thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Join me on the journey. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next video. Please be advised, there are scammers impersonating us on multiple platforms. I don't want your money. I just want you to smash that subscribe button. Everything in this video is for entertainment purposes only. That means it's not financial advice.
When you let me, baby, don't you see I'm shining?